When people mention arts creatives, arts organisations in the context of businesses, there sometimes comes a very puzzled look. And I've never understood that. For me, an artist, a creative, an arts organisation like a theatre, a dance company, an artist studio is a business just like all other businesses. The key difference between them is what we're going to explore in this I Hate Numbers video. The key things that artists and creatives and arts organisations need to do is also going to be outlined in this video. And in future I Hate Number videos, I'm going to be expanding that theme even more. Hi folks, welcome to another weekly video on I Hate Numbers. This is the channel that has a mission, and that mission is to help you and your business make more money, save time, be more productive, increase your financial awareness, reduce your stress and anxiety, and have the business that you desire. My strapline, plan it, do it, profit, is what I'd love to share with you. Let's get on with the video. Now, I will share a natural liking here. I've been involved in the world of business for 30 plus years. And for 40 years of my business life and my working life, I've been a volunteer, a paid advisor and a trustee in the world of social enterprises and arts and creatives. I've also worked studiously with private companies, so I can see both sides of the chain. Now, I've said to you at the very beginning that for me, an arts organisation, a social enterprise organisation are businesses like anything else. They are there, they come as individuals, they employ freelancers, they come together as organisations, they have staff, they have budgets, they have cost pressures, they've got to do things like pricing. The key differential though between the two, between the private sector and arts organisations, is what happens to that profit. So arts organisations, social enterprises are businesses, they have structure, they have organisations, they have the same challenges as our private sector cousins, but it's what they do with those funds, what they do with those profits that are critical. They typically will use that for a particular purpose to help deliver their why. Profit doesn't tend to be the main motivator, but profit is still an essential requirement. Reserves will need to be built up. And I will say, by the way, that there are lessons that the private sector can take from arts and creators and use it and apply it in their own business. More of that in a future video. So having understood that key difference here, it's about what happens to the profit that's being made. There may be differences in the nuances of how that profit is generated, but that's a conversation for another time. But the key is what happens to that profit. It's not necessarily distributed to shareholders, to owners of the company. Instead, it's kept within the organisation. It's used to help build, develop. So what does that mean in terms of some of the special considerations? If you happen to be an arts organisation, what should you focus on? Well, key thing is, for me, is tracking. So there will be a lot more emphasis on tracking where the money is going, where the money is coming from. There'll be more emphasis in terms of budgeting and planning. And arts organisations are very used to that discipline of budgeting, about allocating resources where it's best needed, and actually doing a great deal with very little resources here. The funding streams tend to be different, so it's not just all self-generated selling tickets. It could be grants, donations, it could be self-generated income, it could be commercial activities, such as cafes. If you're running a theatre organisation, you may have a concession, a commercial dimension to your business itself. Having cost transparency, understanding what those costs are really critical. And I will say that having digital platforms like Xero, a fantastic cloud accounting tool, makes that transparency much easier, but also enables organisations to see where the resources are going and understanding the profitability or otherwise of the different projects they're delivering. Other things are, there are certainly tax considerations. Being an arts organisation per se, being an artist or a freelancer does not absolve you from tax responsibilities, so there's still a consideration about tax impacts. VAT is still a relevant consideration, so obviously if you're hovering near that wonderful threshold of taxable supplies, you've got to make sure you factor that into your planning as well. I think the key emphasis with artists, creatives, they contribute substantial funds to the British economy, they contribute substantial funds to international economies here. And it's not just, is it a great art form here, but there's a significant impact that's made in terms of the wider economy and the local economy. Think about every time an arts event takes place, every time some work is being delivered, think about the related off-spin for those people involved in the supply chain and people spending their money to enjoy that piece of work that's being delivered to them. Now, folks, this is just giving you a little bit of a taste about that sector, and I'm going to be talking more about this in coming weeks. So what's your thoughts? Are you involved in that sector? What are your thoughts in terms of are arts organisations, are artists and freelancers businesses like everybody else? Or do you see a distinction? Let me know. I look forward to your comments, and until then, happy creating.